And welcome back. Well, it's that time of the year when we are meeting candidates, and we have one on today, and she is running for the 74th District of the State Assembly. That is your district, along with other places as well, Newport, parts of Irvine. And we welcome her today, Anila Ali. Nice to have you here today.
Nice to be here, and thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Anila Ali, and I'm running for the 74th Assembly District.
Tell me a little bit about your background. We were talking beforehand that you are an educator, you were a teacher, just like my wife, and we were talking a little bit about the different grades, the challenges of each. So you teach 8th grade, right?
Yes, I do. I teach 8th grade, I teach middle school, and I'm teaching English to them. I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I did try elementary school. That's how I started my career more than 20 years ago. And then I tried high school. I did not like that. And when I went into middle school, I just stayed there. And I just think I make more of a difference. And I've connected with my 8th grade students.
Well, what subjects do you teach? Because, of course, in 8th grade, you may teach a couple different ones.
Well, I have a master's in English literature.
Oh, okay.
And I have a master's in education as well. I got my credentials and my master's from Concordia University in Irvine.
Yes.
And then I went back and I wanted to teach English, but I also got journalism and I got yearbook, and I did some fun things along with English as well. So, dabbling here and there, but I am an English teacher.
Very good. Yeah. Well, being on a yearbook, I've known in the past, when I was in high school at least, that a lot of the teachers just love doing that because it's just a lot of fun, and you get to bring together all the different stories and photographs over the years, and
absolutely.
A lot of work, but
a lot
fun.
of work, but I think you become a popular teacher
Yeah.
because the kids want their pictures in, and they think that if they're friends with you, you're going to get their pictures in. And of course, they learn a lot of skills like selling and marketing, and they come up,
very valuable skills.
It is really good.
So you're a teacher, and now you're jumping to go for state assembly. And although you have not held any specific political office, you certainly have been involved in other areas, particularly in Irvine, that involved education and certain committees and things like that you were on, correct?
That's right. I have been very engaged with my community in Irvine. I've been an Irvine resident for 17 years, and I can tell you, Ken, that I moved there 17 years ago. My father at that time was the Third World Director for Population Planning at the UN.
Wow.
Yes, and he came in and he saw Irvine and he saw how beautiful it was, and I had 2 little kids, and he said, look, Anila, you've made America your home, and now you've got to give back to it. So I looked at my kids, what can I do? And he said, start by going into their schools. And so I became a volunteer mother, and then from there I just sprang into lots of activities in Irvine, being really engaged in the schools, the school districts. I've also been a resource teacher and a substitute teacher in Irvine. I've also served on the Irvine Public School Foundation, and I'm also on the advisory board for the Irvine Youth, Children, Families Commission at the City of Irvine. So being part of such a diverse community, I think I've learned a lot, and I value all the communities in my district.
Irvine's very diverse. And you hear this often, that people who are immigrants here, your parents, they seem to be the ones that, even more so than people who go back generations, instill in their kids, you need to give back to America in some way. This became our home. And I think it's wonderful. I think your dad and your parents obviously raised you quite well. Okay, stepping into assembly, a lot of stuff going on in this state. Some good things, some things that are troubling. Any state's going to go through that, let's face it. But a couple things that I would like to bring up is something that was just in the news, just I think this week or the end of last week. It basically encompasses how a lot of major businesses are leaving this state. And of course, the most recent was Toyota leaving their main headquarters in Torrance, I believe that's where it was. And a lot of them were leaving for states because there's tax incentives that go there. There's less corporate taxes. They may be non-union for whatever it is. I think Toyota's going to Texas, as did other companies as well. What do we need to do in this state to promote business? No matter how you look at it, there's 5,300 jobs that are going to be lost there. What kind of incentives do we need to keep these businesses here? And where other states are basically openly campaigning to get businesses to come, Nevada, Texas, Kentucky, what does California need to do to say, here's our state, do business here, this is what we can give you?
Well, actually, California is very attractive to businesses. Although one or two might be leaving, we still have Amazon Fresh. We've got Walmart opening up warehouses. They realized that they couldn't service from Nevada, so they have actually moved back. So although you may hear that a lot of businesses are leaving for tax incentives, and that does happen. This is a growing economy. I mean, California's economy is the 8th largest in the world. So you are going to have people leaving and then people coming. But don't forget that we are the leaders in innovation, technology. And so we have Google here. We also have Google growing here in California. We have Amazon Fresh. I don't know if you've tried it, but amazing.
I know about it. I haven't tried it yet. Have you?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends have been trying it, and big advocate for Amazon. And even though, you know, they've started charging taxes, and their business is growing. And also in my district, we've got Hyundai, we've got Kia, and yes, we lost a few. We went through the worst recession in at least in my lifetime, because I lived through the great Clinton era, where, you know, technology was booming and California was innovating, and we had jobs and we had money and we had bonuses. And then we went through the recession. So I feel that it's slow, the progress is happening, and businesses will come. It's all about jobs. And I do believe that we must give companies incentive to keep jobs local, to keep them in California, and to keep that edge on technology also. Irvine's very big on technology.
Yes, they are.
And I say we can rival Silicon Valley, but we're growing and we're getting there, and we're going to give companies incentive. Also, I think it's important to keep the jobs in California, because we've got 38 million people, a lot of them young people. So, you know, preparing them for the technology of the future, giving them good education, equipping their schools with technology so that they're able to take those orders on the phone that people are giving to Amazon and the other Walmart. We've got to do that as well. And, you know, there's a lot of work to be done there.
Right. Another question is, you know, we're one of the highest tax states there is, whether it's gas tax, sales tax, fees, things like that. Certainly the other states, New Jersey is
very
over
high.
the top there.
It's the highest.
Yeah, they're really over the top there. But, you know, a lot of middle-class families, and even people that live here, seniors who have paid their way over the years, are being kind of squeezed from both ends. On one hand, they're going, we pay for our kids' school lunches, we pay for their supplies and things like that. And yet, you know, there are other people that don't want to do that. And so we feel like we're not only paying for our families, or we have paid now that we're senior citizens, but now we have to pay for other people as well. We don't mind paying our taxes, but at what point do we look at other people and say, you know what, you've got to pull yourself up and do for yourself?
Well, we've got certain moral obligations, but let me tell you exactly, New Jersey has very high property rate.
Yes, they do.
And it's 1.89. If you look at the income tax rate, it's 11.8. Now, California is the most beautiful state in the entire US.
Yes, it is.
So, yes, we do have high taxes, but I feel that we have some moral obligation. We need to take care of our schools. We need to make sure that people are fed. We cannot have homeless. We're a community better than that. And so seniors are very dear to my heart. You know, I lost my mum 5 years ago, and I still have not recovered. I have my father who's 84, and I tell you, I call him every day. And having been brought up around seniors, some of my closest friends who've guided me and helped me integrate in America are seniors. So I have a Jewish mother, I have an English mother, I have an American mother, and you know, they've been pampering me for the past 17 years. I understand what it's like to be on a fixed income. I know what it's like to have a kid go to college. In fact, the year that my son went to school, he went to UCLA, I lost my house. And thank goodness that I had a job and my husband had a job, but it was severe.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to be on a fixed income. And I would be on a committee to make sure that my senior community is taken care of and that we look at their taxes and see what we can do about them. And definitely reducing them and giving them some tax break would be something on my agenda.
I think it's interesting you brought up, about losing a home for whatever reason you did. It was kind of sad that a lot of people did lose their homes.
Definitely.
And they got into these loans, and maybe they shouldn't have, but basically when someone says, sure, come on in, this loan will work for you. And yet it seems as though the banks got a slap on the wrist, and that was about it, where a lot of people could have benefited from having their loans redone.
Exactly.
It would have solved a lot of problems and would have put money back in their pocket.
You're absolutely right about that. And that's one of the reasons, because I am from a working family. I've worked hard, my husband's worked hard. I understand that we need to do more, and thus I decided to come into the race. I saw that there was a chance for me, as my incumbent was not running. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people out, seniors, people on fixed incomes, working families like myself. I want to help them and make sure that we negotiate well with the banks. That when they say they are going to help us keep our house, that they actually do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they didn't.
Right.
I lost my house.
Yeah.
So, we need to have real advocates in Sacramento, and I do believe that I am a real person. I will be a real representative, and since I've been through the good times and the bad times, I will be an advocate for everybody.
Well, very good. And I want to mention Anila's website. It's very easy, anilaali.com. And you can go through, you can find out all about her district. It's a very diverse district. It really is.
It is.
And Newport, it's a strange district, but it is what it is.
It is. Actually, it's beautifully diverse.
Yeah.
It has got the most beautiful coastline. And
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you some, feet to the fire. And when I actually went to the Huntington Beach City Council, I met a lot of seniors there. And I was overwhelmed by their support. And Ken, do you know that a lot of them were Republicans? And they came to me and they said, we would cross party lines to actually vote for you because we are so unhappy with the mayor of Huntington Beach who doesn't care for us and doesn't want to keep us in our homes. The same thing happened at Feet to the Fire when one of the opponents who's running, she was very disrespectful to seniors, and a lady came and she was a Republican senior, and she hugged me and she said, you keep doing what you're doing because you have a heart. And those are the stories that are making me convinced that I'm doing the right thing. So I hope that the viewers, the constituents, and it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, will see me as a genuine candidate with integrity and honesty and vote for me on June 3rd.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Ken.
Again, her website, anilaali.com. Thank you very much. We'll be back in just a moment. You did very well.
Thank you so much.